All right, welcome back to the Star Trek Rewatch. We've made it up to episode number 10 of season 2. This is Journey to Babel. Um, it's a good one. So here we go. Writer is DC Fontana. Of course, that's Dorothy Fontana. The director is Joseph Pevney. We have Spock's parents up here in this episode. And yeah, I really like this one a lot. So Stardate 3842.3. The Enterprise is en route to an important Federation conference on a planet codenamed Babel. Traveling aboard are delegates from many worlds, including Vulcan Ambassador Sarek and Terran wife Amanda, revealed as Spock's parents. And a pretty great reveal scene where they're standing there. You can sense the tenseness between the ambassador here, played by Mark Leonard and Leonard Nimoy, and at the conclusion of the meeting when Spock is rejected as the escort for Sarek, Kirk asks, it says, "Do you want to beam down and meet your parents?" And Spock says, Ambassador Sparek, or Ambassador Sarek and Amanda are my parents. It's like, whoa. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Um, so Spock and his father have not spoken for 20 years, a fact that causes embarrassment for Kirk, but not for his first officer. The journey is also complicated by an unidentified vessel following the Enterprise, and tension between various delegates, especially Sarek and the Tellarite ambassador, Gav. When Gav is murdered, Sarek is the prime suspect, and this is, there's another scene here. They talk about the manner in which he was killed, and Spock says a Vulcan, could kill him this way. Basically, goes through it, makes his own father the prime suspect. So it's another pretty tense scene. He says the stress reveals that Sarek is suffering from a heart condition and needs an immediate operation to save his life. Only his son, Spock, can serve as the blood donor. But when Captain Kirk is attacked and stabbed by the Lev, a member of the Andorian party, those blue guys that got the antennas, right? In a pretty wonky fight scene, there's a part where like Kirk jumps off the wall and falls straight on the floor, and I was like, that fight move just isn't working for you, pal. And he gets stabbed. It's pretty crazy, but he does manage to knock the guy out and then call for help before he loses consciousness. Um, so Spock has to use this like experimental drug in order to boost his blood supply to serve as a donor for his father. But since Kirk is injured, he's not going to go through with the procedure. So he assumes command. He refuses to step down until the unidentified ship following the Enterprise is stopped. Okay, Spock's mother is unsuccessful in her appeals to her son to permit the operation to be performed. Another really great scene where Spock's mother, Amanda, okay, she tells him that if he does not go through with the procedure, she will hate him forever. And then Spock says, I cannot. And she slaps him right in the face. And then he walks over when she walks out and puts his hand on the door. And you can tell like Spock is, has feelings here, but he can't show them because he's a Vulcan. So Amanda here, played by Jane Wyatt, she does come back again and appear in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, along with Mark Leonard. So when we get to the feature films, it's really cool that they cast his parents from the show. Like they return in their roles. We have seen Mark Leonard here before because he appeared as the Romulan commander in season 1's episode Balance of Terror. Of course, Mark Leonard has the distinction of having played both a Romulan in Balance of Terror, a Vulcan as playing as Spock's father here, and a Klingon. He plays one of the Klingons in the opening of Star Trek The Motion Picture. So, yeah, he's played all three of those alien races. We'll get back to our synopsis here. Kirk fakes a return to the bridge. He pretends that he's okay so that Spock will go through with the procedure. he tricks him into reporting to sickbay. Then the vessel, an Orion ship, attacks the Enterprise and is destroyed. Somehow, Kirk manages to, stay on the bridge while this is going on. So there's a dude, Thalev. He's in the brig. There is a antenna, I guess, a transmitter hidden inside of his antenna. So he's not really an Andorian. He's been altered to look like one. He is exposed as a surgically altered Orion, and then he commits suicide. Um, the operation on Sarek is successful, and the ambassador resumes diplomatic relations with his son. This is a great episode. I mean, I don't know what else to say here about it. There's really some great. There you go. Is a scene of Spock and Kirk and Sarek and Amanda meeting. But yeah, this is Bones even has something to do. The only complaint I really think I have with this episode, if I had one, right, would be the ending when McCoy breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience. He like basically looks right at us and he says, "I finally got the last word," after he tells Kirk and Spock to shut up and stay in bed. Some pretty tense moments in sickbay while they're losing power, while you know Bones is performing surgery. But overall, like this is probably a top 5 for me. This one's a banger. This one was awesome. So let me know what you think about it. Uh, Unfortunately, we still have no crewman deaths this week. No crewman died last week. I'm only counting Enterprise crewman deaths. I think we're stuck at, was it 35 or 36? I'll have to go back and check my total. But yeah, we haven't had anybody die. There's been a really low body count thus far this season. Other than that episode where they went to the Oompa Loompa Trump looking planet with Val, where like the red shirts got killed by the boatloads. We really haven't had a lot of red shirt deaths this year. We did have like a red shirt, you know, uh, I don't know what it was, like a bunch of red shirts meeting, adjusting their uniforms when the shuttle landed, that were kind of like the honor guard for Sarek, and they held their phasers like crossed across their chest, and I thought, that looks really fascist. It's weird. It looked, it didn't look appropriate for Starfleet. I guess that was one of the major sources of contention between Ambassador Sarek and Spock, was that Spock chose to join Starfleet rather than go to the Vulcan Science Academy. There was just more opportunity, as Spock saw it, which caused some, I guess, family issues because, he kind of broke with his father's wishes, broke with tradition, if you would say. But yeah, this is a great episode. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching, and that hurts worse than the uniform. Have a wonderful day.